إلها واحدا أحدا فردا صمدا قيوما نؤمن له بالربوبية ونقر له بالعبودية من يهدي الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وترحم على محمد وآل محمد كأفضل ما صليت وسلمت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وصل اللهم وسلم على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والأوصياء والصديقين وعترة نبيك الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين والخلص من أصحابه المنتجبين عباد الله أوصي نفسي وأوصيكم بتقوى الله ولزوم أمره قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما من دابة في الأرض إلا على الله رزقها ويعلم مستقرها ومستودعها كل في كتاب مبين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
This doesn't have quality, but it is. It's done. It's good. The yellow.
One of the matters that faces our community and our men and women, and specifically the young generation, is they become perplexed about their career. Those who are still young, they don't have a clear vision, clear idea. They are not sure of the career that they must pursue or the profession that they should undertake for their life. This decision is not easy to make, especially for the young ones, those who have just graduated. And of course, the young generation, they always require our backing, our support, our commitment, our encouragement, our inspiration into guiding them, advising them on these issues. Most of their colleges, universities, they provide them with career counseling and advice. Some of them, they come to religious leaders, to their elders, to their parents, asking them for their own advice. What do you think? The daughter, the son says, what do you think? Which job should I pursue? Which career should I undertake? The answer that I give to many of them is that consider, even before you go into a specific major at school, consider a career that fulfills your mission in this life. We have a mission in this life. Every person has a mission, has a journey, has a goal in this life. So pursue a career, a job, a profession that fulfills that mission in this life, fulfills that dream. And first of all, you should not be coerced or intimidated into taking a job, a profession that you don't like. Your mother likes, your father likes, your whatever likes. It should be you yourself. You have to be convinced, you have to like it, you have to believe in it, you have to believe in the value of it and the fruits of it. And you should not be forced. Do not listen to your parents if they want you, insist on you to go to specific school, medical school, engineering school, law school, where you don't like. Because this is your life. It's not the life of your parents. Especially in this country. This country, our kids are independent. From the age of 18, 20, they are independent.
One second.
So they should not satisfy the dream of their mother and grandmother going into the wrong profession, wrong field. This is not good. We have to love our job. We have to believe in it. And don't go into a place, a field that you're going to regret. After a period of time, you're going to regret. You say, this is not my place. This is not for me. I wish I haven't done this. I wish I haven't pursued this career and this job and this profession. Sometimes people regret after 30 years, 40 years, when they look back at their life and they found themselves, they spent 30, 40 years of their life, of their youth, in the wrong field. They achieved nothing. So you have to believe. Number one, you have to believe in that field. You have to like it in order for you to stay in it. Number two, as far as our faith is concerned, our religion is concerned, choose a profession that you gain both dunya and akhirah. Not just this dunya, not just money. Do not only look at money. God says, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. The sustainer, the provider is God. It's not you. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't only look at money. This is profitable. This job earns me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, so I'm going to pursue it. Life is not about money. Life is about principles and values. They are more important than money. Money comes. Whatever you work, you will earn money. You are not going to end up in the street. But values do not come easy. Because وَابْتَغِ فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. First, we have to work for the akhirah. Second, for the dunya. Dunya is secondary because dunya is temporary. Akhirah is not temporary. Akhirah is permanent. So don't go into a field that deprives you from the akhirah, from the hereafter. Some of these fields that may deprive us from the akhirah, and it is only for the dunya, merely for the dunya, is the halal, is the haram, the unlawful work, the unlawful job, al-makasib al-muharrama. We have a huge book in the school of Ahl al-Bayt, written 108 years ago by Sheikh al-Ansari in Najaf, Al-Makasib al-Muharram. We studied this when I was a teenager. I studied this book. You have to read this book from cover to cover. Book of fiqh, book of jurisprudence. And he lines up the type of businesses and jobs that you should not pursue as a believer in God. Some of them, I'll give some examples, not all, few examples. Selling wrong things, bad things, evil things, prohibited things, unlawful things. Selling alcohol, no matter how it is profitable, this liquor store, don't buy it. Don't buy the franchise. Don't. Alcohol destroys people's lives, people's souls, divert them from the right course. So don't gain money at the expense of the suffering and the pain of the people. Don't. This money has no barakah, has no blessing whatsoever. Same thing with selling drugs. Same thing maybe with selling cigarettes. These destructive substances, don't get involved in them. No matter how much is the income profitable, you make such and such and such money, stay away from that. This money has no blessings. Sometimes, this is an example, I don't go into the details. Sometimes having a restaurant that sells alcohol or pork, stay away from that. No matter how lucrative it sounds, stay away from it. Stay away from something that earns God's unhappiness and sometimes wrath and anger. Don't do that. Sometimes stolen goods. Many people, they get it from somewhere, a thief, an iPhone, he stole an iPhone, maybe brand new, maybe this watch, that good, and he sell it in the market. Don't buy it, neither resell it. Don't do that. It's unallowed. It's not allowed. Or sometimes dangerous things, a poison, a weapon, even a weapon. Maybe some good people are going to use this weapon, but out of those good people, an evil person is going to use that weapon and he commits murder, horrific murders, and you are responsible because you were the source. He got this weapon from you, your shop. Stay away from that. Sometimes things that involves sexual promiscuity, nightclubs, discotheques, some items, stay away from that. Do not contribute into the corruption of the society. Do not be an element of corruption. Be an element of building your society, not destroying people's lives. Sometimes a career sounds very nice from outside. The title is good. The title is legitimate. Joining law enforcement agencies, it's good. It's good to join to be a police officer because in your mind, since you are a kid, you want to protect people. But sometimes it's not protection. It's destroying. When we hear about police brutalities in many cities, in many towns, the bias, the racism, the discrimination against the black, against others, Latinos and others and the minorities. So be careful. Be careful to join an agency where you cannot make sure 100% that you're going to commit to justice. Stay away from that. Many of our young fellows, they ask me about joining the military. Is it okay? I tell them, when you join a military, whether Air Force or Army or Navy or Marines or whatever, do you have your own freedom? You are the decision maker, or you have a boss above you? He says, no, I'm just a soldier. So if you are just a soldier, you are not a decision maker, you may end up doing something that you don't like. I know your intention is good to defend the territory of the territorial integrity of your country, of your land. But you might not end up doing this. They might send you thousands of miles away to attack another country, to occupy another country, to help another occupier committing murders and acts of genocide and atrocities. So be careful. Be careful. If you don't know what you're going to end up and you have no freedom, then don't join. Don't join. This is a career. And you cannot tell me I get orders from this or that. I was getting orders. You join this entity with your freedom, with your understanding. There are many other fields. Join a place where you serve, where you save people's life. Make a difference in people's life. Build people, not destroy people. Anything that destroys people, stay away from it. Don't take that risk. The first question we're going to be asked after resurrection, لا تجوز قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. Once we are resurrected from the grave, interrogation begins. Immediately begins the process of interrogation. Number one, عن عمره فيما أفناه. How did you spend your life? What career you took? What did you do? What profession you had? What position you had? What did you do for 40 years, 50 years, 70 years in your life? What occupation you had? They're going to ask us about this. عن عمره فيما أفناه. So don't end up in the wrong place. Choose a career that improves the condition of the people, the life of the people, improves it. A career that has education, inspiration, building, saving, serving, making a huge change in people's and humanity's condition, not just your community, not just your country. In the humanity, you contribute to the humanity, to the well-being and the advancement of the entire humanity, entire mankind. This is a big responsibility. Sometimes a person I know who took the insurance career and he did his exams and he passed and he opened his insurance company. After a while he stopped. He quit. I said, why? He said, Sayyid, I didn't know before, but when I was involved in this is up to him. This is not me. This is what he was saying. When I was involved in this field, I realized most of the work depends on a fraud. You can't make a profit, you can't make living unless you are involved in a fraud. So I quit. It happens, and it happens in any profession, Fraud, wrongdoing, injustice may happen in any profession. It depends on your intention. Sometimes a doctor who's supposed to save people's lives and people's dignity, he forces you to undergo a surgery which is unnecessary for the sake of money, not for the sake of saving your life. The surgery is dangerous and unnecessary, but he wants the money. And it happens in all fields. Exploitation happens in all fields. We have to be careful. God says, choose a career and look up to me. Look up to me. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ, no creature walks on earth إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Its sustenance, its provision, it's with God, lies with God. إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. This is the advice I give to the young generation. Look far, far beyond 5 years and 10 years, for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. How do you want to serve your ummah, your community, your country, your faith? How? Your life is precious. Every day of your life, every hour of your life, every minute of your life is precious. And you can make a huge difference in people's life. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونسبحه ونقدسه ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وترحم على محمد وآل محمد كأفضل ما صليت وسلمت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وصل اللهم وسلم على خلفاء نبيك وأوصيائه وأهل بيته وأحبته علي أمير المؤمنين وقائد الغر المحجلين، وعلى البضعة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، وعلى سبطي نبي الرحمة وسيدي شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين عليهما السلام، وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والإمام الخلف الهادي المهدي عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه. عباد الله، أوصي نفسي وأوصيكم بتقوى الله ولزوم أمره. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. ولا تهنوا ولا تحزنوا وأنتم الأعلون إن كنتم مؤمنين. إن يمسسكم قرح فقد مس القوم قرح مثله وتلك الأيام نداولها بين الناس وليعلم الله الذين آمنوا منكم ويتخذ منكم شهداء والله لا يحب الظالمين. وليعلم الله الذين آمنوا ويتخذ منكم شهداء والله لا يحب الظالمين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. This life is a chain of trials and tribulations, imtihan and bala. And everything that happens to us as individuals, as families, as communities, as nations. It is definitely with God's divine decree and with God's consent and with God's will, everything that happens. قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Nothing befalls us except with God's decree. إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ. What God has decreed, it has to happen, whether good or bad. There is no escape. There is no escape in this life. قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. He's our master. He's our guardian. He's our mawla. He's our creator. هُوَ مَوْلَانَا وَعَلَى اللَّهِ. Indeed, in God should the faithful put their absolute trust. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. God says, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. Such days, days of goodness and days of sadness. Days of victory, and sometimes it looks a failure, but it's not a failure. Sometimes we look at things as being, well, a defeat, a failure, but it is not. It has a reason. It has a reason. Sometimes things happen to us, we don't like them, but God says it's necessary. It's necessary for your growth, spiritual growth. These things are reminder. It has to happen in you. These things are red flags to awaken you, to shake you. You need them. You need them in this journey. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامِ. Such days of varying fortune, نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. One day you are happy, the following day you may be sad. One day you make money, the other day you lose money. One day you have a new birth, a newborn baby in your family, the other day you lose someone in your family. Allah says, we test your faith when? At the time of prosperity? No. Not when you are happy. God does not test your faith when you are full, you are happy, you are enjoying, you are dancing, you are with in a wedding party. He tests our faith at the time of misfortune, at the time of affliction, at the time of tribulation, at the time of loss. This is how our faith is tested. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the believers, when they are tested, even with loss, even when they lose their loved ones, what do they say? هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is a promise. God did not say your journey has to be always milk and honey, always victories, always laughter, always happiness. No. You should sustain some injuries too, and some loss. This is part of your takamul, perfection in this life. This which may make you more forceful, more determined. قالوا هذا ما وعدنا الله ورسوله وصدق الله ورسوله. They did not lie to us. They told us the truth. Allah was not misleading. وصدق الله ورسوله. But at the other hand, وما زادهم إلا إيمانا وتسليما. This misfortune, this bala, this tribulation, this loss would increase them nothing but in faith and surrenderance and submission to God. The believers are going to be more powerful. At the time of a tragedy, they get closer to God. Non-believers are going to shift away from God, are going to put the blame on God, are going to complain. Why this happened to me? Why this happened to my family? Why this happened to my country? Why it didn't happen to the enemy? They complain. But the believers, وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. It will increase them nothing but faith and a trust in God and submission to God. They say there is something good in that. We don't know, but God does not hurt us. We give condolences to all the mu'mineen, to the Iranian nation for the loss of their leadership. This is a test. It's a test. It's not a conspiracy. Test from God. Give me what religion, what a prophet. They did not have a loss. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after So many years waiting to have a baby boy. Ibrahim was born from an Egyptian mother, Mary, who came from Egypt. The Prophet married her. She was a Christian, and then he had this boy, and he was so happy with this Ibrahim. His name was Ibrahim. Very happy. The boy was cheerful. At the age of Jibreel came to the Prophet, said, Ya Rasulullah, be prepared. God is going to take away this boy from you. The Prophet did not say to him, why? I've been waiting for this boy. I didn't do something wrong. I didn't disobey my Lord. He didn't say so. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. If this is what my Lord Allah wishes, then okay, I am okay with that. At the age of 1 year and 10 months, this baby boy died. When you go to Baqi', you see his grave. Less than 2 years. Is this a loss? This is a gain for the Prophet. It would increase him in his faith, in his determination. And at these times of a tragedy, the best thing we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ilayhi raji'un. Another loss we had recently, a scholar from Lebanon, Sheikh Ali, Ayatollah Sheikh Ali Al-Amili Al-Qawrani, from the village of Yatir in Lebanon. A man of honor, a man of knowledge, a man who served the school of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in so many lectures and so many books that he left behind. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to embrace them, those martyrs, with His mercy, with His forgiveness, with His blessings, inshallah, and empower our nation, empower the Muslim Ummah worldwide, inshallah ta'ala. One of the most important events of this week, of this past week, is that the arrest warrant that was issued by the International Criminal Court, the chief prosecutor, he issued an arrest warrant against the criminal Netanyahu and his war minister on the counts of war crimes, one of the counts. Though unfortunately politics played a role here, and he also issued another arrest warrant against the Palestinian leaders who are fighting for their life, for their dignity, for their land, for their people, resisting the occupation, resisting the humiliation. But it's still this arrest warrant against the Israeli leaders is a victory. Victory for the truth, victory for the justice. Because no one dared before, for so many years, to convict the state of Israel and to accuse the state of Israel. This is the first brave step taken into implementing justice, inshallah. Of course, the United States of America was the first nation to condemn this act. And it's not strange. America is complicit in this crime. America is complicit in this genocide against the people of Gaza and Palestine. 3 days ago, the president stands and he says there is no genocide. Israel is not committing genocide. More than 50,000 people, mostly women and children, more than 80,000 people who are wounded and they lost their limbs. 90% of the properties and homes and buildings in Gaza are being leveled with the ground, and still this is not an act of genocide. So what is an act of genocide? What is it? When Israel bombardment continues indiscriminately and kills not the fighters, mostly women and children. If this is not genocide, what is genocide? Unfortunately, the moral compass of the political leaders in this country is broken. Their moral compass is broken. It heads to the wrong direction, not the right direction. Justice system is broken. Democracy is twisted. Few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, a group of 12 Republican leaders, senators, they sent a letter to the chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, telling him, warning him and threatening him that if you go after Israel, we come after you. We go after. If you issue this arrest warrant, we come after you. We come after your family. We ban you from entering the United States of America. We do such and such to you. The letter, the language of the letter belongs to drug cartels, gangsters, thugs, not a senator who sits on a seat representing his nation, his people. This is how democracy is working in this country. The same president last year, I remember, when the same court, the International Criminal Court, issued an arrest warrant against President Putin of Russia, what did he say? He said it is justified because clearly, undoubtedly, he's a war criminal. But now when it issues an arrest warrant against Netanyahu, he says it is outrageous, it's unacceptable. Look at the double standard. Israel itself, when this man, Karim Khan, the chief prosecutor was appointed, it was the first state to welcome him warmly. You are the right man in the right place. Today, when he issues this arrest warrant, he's what? Anti-Semitic. He's anti-Semitic. When you speak about justice, any person speaks about justice, whether you are a student on the campus, walking in the street, in any capacity. Once you criticize, when you say this is genocide, these are crimes, those are innocent women and children, they don't deserve death, you are anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic. This is the democracy that we are witnessing. But God says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. These things should not intimidate us. These things should not stop us from continuing saying the truth and advocating justice. We should not stop. وَلَا تَهِنُوا. Do not falter, do not grieve. And you are the ascendants if you have faith in God. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And we're going to continue this journey. We are not going to be silenced. We are not in this country just to make money. We are in this country to uphold the principles and human values. And when human values are violated, we have to speak up. Our humanity, our faith, our principles are more important than money, more important than citizenship. We are here on this earth for a number of days. We are not going to sell our values and our principles. And we will continue, inshallah. And the least thing, the Prophet says, when you fight warmongers and wrongdoers and criminals and arrogants, the least thing you have to reject them and object to them and repel them with your tongue. With your tongue. If you cannot carry the weapon, if you can't go there and help, if you can't send money, at least with your heart and with your tongue. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring His victory, inshallah, on the people of Gaza, on the people of Palestine, on the people who are pursuing justice and freedom, inshallah ta'ala, and to defeat their enemies, the enemies of the truth, the enemies of justice, and the enemies of Allah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. Inshallah, from Fridays, every Friday we're going to have Salatul Fajr. The program will begin with Salatul Fajr and other du'as, inshallah, every Friday morning. And also encourage your young generation, your sons and daughters, to join our IECOC Summer Youth Camp this year, inshallah, mid-June. Encourage them. You may pay on their behalf if they are students, they can't afford. Pay on their behalf and encourage them to join so they can come and benefit, inshallah ta'ala. Some new immigrants in our community, especially those who came recently from Afghanistan, they are looking for a job and they have the job permit. So if you have a vacancy in your office, in your business, please ask me and I will introduce them to you. And this is helping them. There are people who traveled long, journey, thousands of miles. to come and find some peace here in this country. So if you help them, Allah will help you too, inshallah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات. اللهم أنزل نصرك على إخواننا في غزة وفلسطين ولبنان وإيران يا أرحم الراحمين، وعجل في فرج سيدنا ومولانا صاحب العصر والزمان، وإلى أرواح شهداء إيران وغزة ولبنان وشهداء المؤمنين والمؤمنات واليمن ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآله.